How can I help you today? Jason,
Yes.
how can I help you today?
I need some help with some math questions for 2.2.
Oh, no problem.
I already did the half of number 1. It's just that I don't know how to create the frequency and the ogive.
The frequency polygon and the ogive. Okay. Well, let me pull up the homework here. And we'll see what we can do.
Okay.
Downloads. 2.2, you said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for 108 randomly selected college applicants, the frequency polygon for entrance exam scores was obtained. Construct. So let me make sure I'm sharing the screen for the sake of the recording later here. Let me see. Okay, so we're given the class limits, right? And we're given the frequency. Now, you said you were able, so you were able to do the histogram on your own.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we need for a frequency polygon?
We gotta add the class limits together and divide them by 2.
Right, and that's going to give us what? What is that going to give us?
Okay, so 98. Hold on.
90 plus 98.
Gives us 188.
And if we
Divided by
divide that
2.
by 2, we get what?
94.
Right. What do we call that number? Do you know?
The width?
Not here. No, that's called the midpoint.
Oh, the
Okay, so what we're doing here, you're right. We have to generate a column of midpoints. So to get for the histogram, so I'm going to continue here because we're going to need a couple of things, right? So when we did our histogram, we needed the class boundaries, right? So when we needed our histogram, we needed the boundaries, class boundaries. Sorry, Jason, I think my internet decided to have a, so let's do our, let me write this down. So let's continue with our midpoints. This is our class limits. So we have 90 to 98, and that was 94 was our midpoint, right? How about the next one?
Let me see what I gotta get there. So, oh, I can't see the screen.
Oh, my apologies. Let me see that. It's from oh gosh, okay, hold on. Let me, all right, there we go. Right here. Okay. This is,
There we go. 99 plus 7, 206.
right, and if I divide that by 2, I get
103.
right. So 103. Then 108 to 116.
224 divided by
right,
212.
right, okay. And then 17 to
17.
125.
242 divided by 2 is 121.
121, okay. And then 126 to 134.
260 divided by 2 is 130.
130. Now, when you create your, okay, so let me do something here before we do our ogive. So when we do our, let me give you a little reminder here. So in this particular section, we're practicing 3 different kinds of graphs. We're practicing the histogram, the frequency polygon, and the ogive. So when we do our frequency polygon, we're going to have, let me get my text here. This is going to be our frequency polygon. We're going to have, put it down here. So this is going to be our frequency polygon. And what we have down here is going to be our, these are going to be our midpoints down here. That's why I had you get those first. These are going to be midpoints. And the height of this is going to be our frequency that we already have. So this is going to be our frequency, okay? That's how you do your, that's how you do your frequency polygon, okay? When you do your ogive, you're going to do you're going to do your, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to have our this is going to be our upper class limit. So this is going to have to, that's why we needed our limits, not only for the histogram, but it's going to be also for our ogive, our upper class limit. And we're going to have our cumulative frequency on this axis. So cumulative frequency. Okay, so right now we're trying to do the frequency polygon. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to draw another graph. I'm going to start another graph. I'm not sure how long I need to make this, so I'll make it about yay long. And I'll put this here. So to get your frequency polygon, we're going to make some. Now, the thing that's a little tricky sometimes about the frequency polygon is we need to close it on both ends. So we actually need to add a couple of values to this, and I'll do that in a minute. But let me see, we have 5. So we need a total of 7 values, and I'll show you why in a minute. But you should try to make them evenly spaced if you can. That might not be, oops. So this is going to be the next thing that I do. This is 3. Oops. Okay. It's having a field day. There we go. 4. That's not it. Okay. So what we're going to do, and then we're going to figure out where our midpoints are. Now our midpoints go from 94 to 103. So what we can do here, usually the bottom is 0. If you want to show that you have, let me do something here. If you want to show that you have made a space, you can do something like this. You can make a little, sometimes you'll see this in the book. They'll go up and they'll make a little mark. And then they'll say, okay, we made our line. And this little mark means that there's a break, because obviously the the bottom of this is 0. We know that, right? And so maybe my first hash mark here, because as I said, my midpoints go from 94 to 130. So maybe I want to make this, they're 9 units apart. So maybe I want to make this a scale of, maybe I want to make this, say, 90. And then you can, let me draw some hash marks on the side. So this is going to be 90, then I'll do this by maybe by 10 units. This is not going to be very much to scale, but just so we get the idea of what's going on. This is going to be, I think she actually drew this for you in the slides, but we'll see. This is 90. This is going to be like, let's say this is going to be 100. So I'm going to scale this by 10 units. Then you have 110. Then you have 120. And then you have 130 here. So, and then we know we're going to need, oh wait, actually I made a mistake, because these are the ones that I put this on the wrong axis. So this is going to be, my midpoints are going to be on this axis. So I didn't write these down. This is 94. So these, I didn't write the frequency. So let me write what the frequencies are. What are they? Let me go back. That was my mistake. New screen share here.
It's 6, 22, 43, 28, and 9.
But I want the homework. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm doing, oops, my apologies. So 6, okay, so my frequencies are 6, 22, 43, 28, and 9. So this is, okay, let's do this. This is going to be, all right, so the frequencies are going to go here. I'm going to scale this by 5, maybe 10. Let's see. Yeah, maybe 10 units. Do I need 43? Okay, so if I do 10 here, and then 20 here, this is 20, drag this over. This is 30, and then this is 40, and I need a 50 probably, because I have a 43, so let me do that. All right, so then, now my first point is gonna be 94 and 6, but I'm gonna show you why I'm gonna put that here, because I'll have to come back and grab this other midpoint. Now 94, 6 is about gonna be about half of this first point. So 94 and 6 is going to be roughly, let me use the broad marker. 94 and 6 is going to be about right here, about halfway up to the 10 mark, right about there. Okay. That's a little big. Let me change the spotlight here. Yeah, erase this. Draw this as a 94 and 6 is about right there. And then I have 103 and 22. Now that's going to be, if this is 10, 22 is about right here. So 22 is going to be like right there. This is going to be 102, 103, 103. And then I'm going to have the next midpoint, which is 112. So I'm going to have 112 and 43, 112. Oops. 112 and 43. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40. 43 is going to be about 10, 20, 30, 43 is about here. Somewhere here. So this is where 40 is, 43 is about here. So yeah, somewhere there.
Okay, I think
I'll fix the dot in a second. Okay, so then we go to the next one, which is 121 and I missed one.
28.
94, 6, 22, 43. I think I missed a point. Let me check it.
No.
So I'm doing 6, 22, 43. Okay. 28 and 9. So here, okay. So here I've got so this is going to be, let me label this. So this is going to be our point 94 and 6, 94 and 6, and I'm going to drag this over so it's there. And then I have this point is going to be 103 and 22. So this is 103. And then this point is 112 and 43, which is the one I just plotted. And then 112, 43. And then I have 121 and 28. So now I'm going to say, okay, this is 121. So now 28 is going to be somewhere here. So let me plot that. This is going to be where 20 is. 28 is going to be close to 30. So I'm looking at this point right here, somewhere there. And then this point is going to be 121 and 28. So this is 28. And then I have 130 and 9. So this is going to be 130. 130. Now, 130 and 9 is going to be somewhere here. So now notice that I left us a couple of things here. That one, not that. Let me undo it. I want to erase the dot, not the line. Yeah, okay, I'll fix it. All right, so what we can do here, these are the points that we plotted. Now, when you create a frequency polygon, you
Have to line them.
connect the dots, connect the midpoints with straight line, not a smooth curve. You connect them with straight lines and you make a shape. Okay, so we just create a series of straight lines that connect our dots in order together. And then what we do is we have to close it on the ends. That's why if you notice when I did it, I left extra spaces. Okay, so I'll show you what happens with that in just a minute, as soon as I draw this out. So now this, there, there's that one, and then we have there's the third one, that 112. And then we have a couple more. Now what we're going to do is we're going to close this. Now, we haven't closed it. This looks fairly close, but remember this was 6. So what we have here is we have to go back. Now, if we notice something, we can figure out what these points are supposed to be, because my midpoints are, let me show you. We can see here that my midpoints are always the same distance apart from each other, okay? This is 94 to 103. If you take 103, you subtract 94, you find out that these midpoints are 9 units apart. 103 minus 94 is equal to 9 units, okay? And that means that your midpoints will be 9 units apart. All of these midpoints are 9 units apart from each other. So this one that we don't know what this is right now. This this midpoint before 94, we don't know what it is. But we do know that it's 9 units before 94. So if you take 94 and you subtract 9 from it, you get, is that 85? I believe so. Is that what you're getting? Are
Maybe,
you
yeah.
here? Did I lose you?
Sort of.
Hold on. Did I lose the one? Did I lose my Jason?
Yes,
Did I lose you?
kind of with the subtraction.
Can you hear me, Jason?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Hello? Hold on. Yes, I can hear you. Hello?
Okay, Jason. So
Can you hear me?
what we're going to do is we're going to, I'm going to come back here to this. And I have, all right, thank you. So now, close the chat. All right, so we're going to go back 9 units. So 94 minus 9 is 85. So this midpoint is going to be 85 here. So this is going to be 85, sorry. And that is going to correspond, obviously, we didn't have a frequency there because our data hadn't even started. So that's going to correspond to 0. So we're going to have a point down here where this midpoint would be, and this would be 85 and 0. Okay. Now, obviously on the other side, remember I told you I was leaving 2 blank spaces, right? So we have 85, 94, 103, 112, 121, 130, and I need another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need one more hash mark here. So let me draw it in. And I'll draw in another hash mark for this here. Let's put the hash mark there. This hash mark is going to be 9 more because it's 9, just the same as the other one. So this is going to be 139 over here. This hash mark. I can get my mouse to cooperate. There we go. So I have 139 here, and I close the polygon with that. So I close this. This is going to be, that's going to be 139 and 0. And this one closes on this side with a straight line. I'm gonna draw that in for you. And it should look something like this. Mine won't look quite as nice as hers because I'm freehanding it, but that's gonna be something like, what's your polygon? It's an automatic deduction if you forget to put
Close it.
these midpoints to close this, okay? So again, how do you know how far apart they are? These questionable midpoints are as far apart as the other midpoints are. So this is your frequency polygon, okay? And so we know what this question mark is because, again, same as the other one. Before I move on to the ogive, do you have any questions about this?
Wait, so you told me that
Do you have
I can
any
get
other
deduct.
questions? I'm gonna
Can you hear
label
me?
this here. This is 139 and 0. And this is 130
Hold on. Can you hear
and
me?
9. If you're talking, Jason, I can't hear you. If you could respond in the chat, that would be good. Do you have any other questions about this one? Okay, okay, if you forget to, Jason asked what he gets deducted on. I was saying that you have to have these extra midpoints where the question marks are. If you leave those off, you'll get a deduction. Sometimes what students do is they make their polygon go all the way to 0, but they don't tell us what this is. So if you close this, but you don't tell us where this, in this case, where 85 is, where 139 is, if you don't identify that, that's an automatic deduction. So make sure that you actually put in those numbers, even though they're not part of the data. Okay.
Hold on.
Anything else? I know we have to do the ogive still, but any other questions about this? Let me check the chat. Yes, you can go ahead and exit, fix your volume, and then come back, Jason. I'll be here. Can you hear me, Jason?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Okay, I'm assuming you can hear me, but I can't hear you still.
Hold on. Can you hear me
I
now?
don't hear anything on your end. You might want to check your volume. I'm going to stop sharing here. You might want to check your about ogive.
I kind of get it now, the frequency polygon. I
That's
just
her,
have,
yeah, the frequency polygon, sorry.
now I have to find out the ogive, the ogive.
The ogive, okay. So the ogive, as I mentioned before, uses our upper class boundaries. So if you did the histogram, you'll have those, okay? But it also uses our cumulative frequency, which we got very good at on the last homework set. So let me, hold on, let me save these whiteboards so that I save the whiteboard. Okay, now let me go and switch whiteboards here. So let's do this. So we have another graph, okay, and when you do the ogive here, you're going to put upper class limits on this axis, upper class limits on this axis, and you're going to put on the horizontal axis.
Okay.
And the cumulative frequency is going to go on the vertical or the y-axis. So we're going to put cumulative frequency on this axis, okay? Now, the other thing is this only closes on the left. So where the frequency polygon closes on the right, the cumulative frequency polygon is only touches the axis, the horizontal axis on the left, okay? It's open on the other side. I'll show you what that looks like, but let's take a quick look back at the data. So our data, I'll put it, yeah, I can put it down here. There's, all right. So if you remember, we have class limits, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we had class limits and we have, I'm going to put class boundaries here because I'm going to need that. So we're going to put our class boundaries in here. And then we're going to put our frequency, just to make this easier for us, our frequency, and then our cumulative frequency, because did you get those already or not yet?
I'm writing cumulative frequency down.
Okay. All right. So this is going to be, oops. Now let's see if I can make the box wider. There we are. All right, so it's cumulative frequency. Now, okay, and just for, I'll go ahead just for completeness so that we have this for the other one. And I'll add the midpoint later. So again, with our class limits, the first class was 90 to 98, right? So what are our class boundaries for this class?
90 to 98.
That's our class limit. Okay.
Oh.
Remember the
Oh, class
boundaries.
boundaries.
Right, right.
89.5, 98.5.
Very good. 89.5 to 98.5. So, and then shall we, let's go ahead and finish. So 99 to 107. We're gonna have, this is gonna
90.
be, go ahead.
98.5 to 99.5.
All
Or
right.
107.5.
107, yeah, okay. 98.5 to 107.5. And then we're gonna have what?
107.5
Yeah,
to
because
116.5.
107, because this was 107 to 116 or 108 actually. This was 108 at this point. I have to catch up to you. 116.5. Okay. So the 116, not yet. Our boundary then, as you said, is 107.5 to 116.5. Then we go to 117 to 125. And this is 116, 116 and a half to 125 and a half.
Yes.
All right. And we're almost done. 125 and a half. Actually, 126 to 134. So,
And then it's 125.5 to 134.5.
So basically what we're doing here is you did all the hard part, believe it or not. And that's not hard. It's just a little time consuming. What we're going to do here, the frequencies come from the data. I'm going to go ahead and recopy the frequencies in here so that we can use that. But I'm going to click out of the box so I can copy them separately. So 6 and then 22 and then 43, 28 and 9, right? Okay. Now, you remember how the cumulative frequencies work? Okay, so you tell me what I should put here. What do I put for the cumulative frequency?
We add the class boundaries. We add them together and then we divide them by 2.
No, that's midpoints.
Oh.
I'm talking about what am I doing for the cumulative frequency? Cumulative frequency.
Oh, we start off with 6.
Right. Then
6 plus 22
right, which is
equals 28.
right. Okay, now I think you're on the right track. Keep going.
28 plus 43.
Okay, how much is that?
71.
Good. Then
71 plus 28
okay,
equals 99.
okay, and then
99 plus 9.
okay, should give us
108.
108. Now, do we have 108 values in the frequency column? If I add 6 plus 22 plus 43 plus 28 plus 9.
Equals 108.
108. Okay, so we know we're probably good there. Now, how do we draw this thing? Well, this says upper class limits on this axis. So I'm going to go ahead and use the upper class limits here. Okay, so I've got my first upper class limit, and I'm going to leave myself some space. You'll see why, because I'll have a number, an extra number here, but I'm going to put some hash marks in here. So this is going to be my upper limit. So I'm going to start with 98.5, okay? So I'm going to say this is 98.5. And then I'm going to go to the next one, which is, I need to give myself more room. This is not going to be enough room.
Wait, don't you mean 89.5?
I will have an 89.5 before that, but I'm using,
Oh,
right now, I'm using the upper. There will be one here. That's going to be the missing one, but that's going to be where it touches the axis. But you're correct. I'm going to need 89.5 here. This is going to be that. Okay. This is 89.5, and I'm going to have, what I'm going to have here is I'm going to have this side, because remember I told you the left side is closed. This is going to be where your 0 is at. Now what you're going to do here is you're going to put cumulative frequencies, which are going to go from 6 to 108. So I think we're going to go up by, let's count this by 10, shall we? So let's count this side by 10 units. So let's draw some hash marks on this thing. 1, I'm going to need like 10 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's longer. 9 and 10, something like this. So this is going to be, we're going to scale this just like before. This is going to be 10.
mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to have 20 here. And I'm going to have 30 and so forth, right? So the first one's going to be 89.5 and 0. Because at the upper limit, I'm going to plot my cumulative frequency. So 98.5, and I'm going to plot 6. So 98.5 and 6 is going to be somewhere, maybe, let's see, if that's 10, then 6 is going to be somewhere there. Maybe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then my next point is going to be at 107.5. That's going to be this third tick mark, which I've got to move these tick marks out of the way. Let me do some, oops. Let me do some minor cleanup on the tick marks here. Oops. Undo. I don't want to undo my line. I just want to undo my tick mark. I'm going to move these over a little more because these marks are big. You'll have an easier time of it because you won't be freehanding it on the screen. It does get a little crowded, so leave yourself, try to make them uniform when you do this. Try to make them the same width apart. I think that will be better. Okay, so now I have 107.5 and 28. So if this is where 30 is, if this is where 30 is, 107.5 and 28, I'm going to drop slightly below that, right there. And then I have 116.5 and 71. So then I'm going to have all the way up to 71. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, just a hint over that. Somewhere there. Okay. Then I have 125.5. I'm sorry, 116.5. Oh wait, 98. What did I do here? I'm missing one. So this was, let me label these. This is going to be 98.5. And 6. And then I'm going to have this second point. Oh, I've got an extra dot. That's why. Trying to undo the dot, not the number. But I'll have to put it back. Okay. So I've got my 98.5. I've got my 107.5. I've got my 116.5. Now I need my 125.5, which is going to be at 99. So here I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 99 is about there. And so I'm going to say that that's about here. And then I have one more number, which is, oops, which is 108. So this, I'll move this over just a bit. So this is going to be 99. And then I have 108, which is about, if this is where 100 is, then 110 would be about right here. So 108 might be right there. And so when I draw my ogive, this is a curve that is smoother than my, something like that. That's going to be what this ogive looks like. And again, you would label all of these. So this is 98.5. This is 107.5. And then this next one is going to be 116.5. And then the next one's going to be 125.5. And it's going to end this is gonna end and I'll have to
At 134.5
at 134.5.
by
And I'll put the points up on top. Just give me. So this is going to be this is going to be 89.5 and 0. Because actually your lower limit is going to be where your where this closes.
So it's not going to be at 6.
Not 89.5. And that's a mistake that students make. Your 6 is going to be at 98.5. So this point, which probably needs to be a little more prominent now that I've drawn into it. This point, actually, let me do something else. This point here, let me do it in green, is going to be approximately where I meant for 98.5 and 6 to be. This will be easier for you to do on your own paper rather than on the screen, but you're going to have 98.5 and 6 here. And then you're going to have 107 and the next point, which let me go ahead and format those. So that was 107. That was 28 for that point. So we have 28 is going to be about right here for this point here. And then you have the next point was 71. So we have 71 was our point about there. And then you have 99, which was our next point, was about right here. And then you have 135.5, which I meant for it to be that point out here. So that's kind of what you're looking at. Okay, does that help you?
Yeah.
And I think she included them in the slide. So let me pull them down and I'll see if they're there. Let me stop sharing this. And get my downloads for 2.2 right here. Pull up the slides, share them on the screen. Here's our here's what our slides look like. So their histogram and our she shows you what that looks like. There's your lower boundaries for that. And she shows you what the cumulative frequency polygon looks like. And I think, did she give you the polygons for this? I'm looking to see if she did. 99, 90 to 98. I thought she had done it, but I think it might be. Oh no, maybe not. I wonder if they're in the homework. Let me take a look. Because I'm thinking that they're down here. I think she said she was going to give you the. Well, look back at the examples given in PowerPoint 2.2. Okay, but she doesn't give you the exact. So that's how that works. Now, do you know how to do it if you're doing like raw data?
Raw data.
Number 2 is raw data. Okay. So
Oh,
be
isn't it the same?
yeah, except you have to actually construct the distribution first.
Like find all the numbers in order?
Right. So you
So that,
here you'll have to find the distribution, like get a distribution that looks something like number 1 first, and then do the steps for the frequency polygon, the counties, the divisions, or the parishes of the 50 states given. You'll have to get the distribution before you can. Let me see if I can verify that while you're working on it. It looks like, let's see, I see 62, I see 44, I see 15. I see 8, okay, so your minimum is 8, is that the minus? Oh no, we have a 3. Okay, and it looks like we have a 159. Is that our highest one? It looks like it. We have a 3 and we have a 159. Let me verify that. Let me grab the data here. Let me go ahead and so I can show you what that looks like. mm, mm, Elementary statistics. Okay, let me just take a look at where this is 2.2. So we can get our data for that. This is gonna be oops, that's not what I wanted. I want the appendices. Okay. I want appendix E. Okay. All right. So now I'm on 2.2. And I want, let's see, 90 to 98. And then I want the we don't have much for my raw data. Let's see what. So and it looks like I want, oh, I'm not looking at Uh, all right, so I'm gonna have a slightly different. This was about, which one was it? This one was about railroad crossings, I think. Let me see what it said. Grab the homework of this, which it's not showing me yet. Let me put it up. Hold on. So I'm looking at, okay, each of the parishes. So we have, we're gonna start with our class width, right? How many days? We have 50 parishes. So what are we gonna start with to do with this first? Do you remember?
50 parishes, 50
Right.
states.
What are we gonna do with the data? Do you remember?
Um, we get the class limits.
Okay, but before we can do that, we have to get the width, right? We have to form the classes first.
Mm-hmm.
So how far have you gotten with that? Did you start looking at your data? 67, 102. How do we start to get the width? 83. Oh, actually, there's a 254. I didn't see that. 15, 92, 82, 53, 29, 75, 99, 114, 88, 14, 58, 105, 56, 77, 95, 64, 120, 93, 36, 39, 864, 16, 67, 55, 67, 16, 10, 5, 72, 10, 72, 159, 23, 21, 46, 23, 5, 14, 33, 66, and 3. So, okay, let's take a crack at this one. Let me do something here that I haven't shown. Let me go ahead and move this over so I can share, whoops, the pull that up on the screen. I'll share in just a sec. So we're going to pull this up. I'm going to share my, oops. Okay, I think I can, I'm looking to share the calculator screen, but there it is. All right, so here's, let me clear this out. So your Calcio should allow you to enter the numbers. And I would highly recommend it. You can also do it by hand if you want, but it's a lot of numbers to put in. These instructions are in your in the lesson for 2.2 as a separate page, but you're going to go in and you're going to put the data in your calculator. As long as you get all 50 values in there, it doesn't matter if you go across or down. I had to write this in a lot of columns, so it might not look the same as yours, but 67, 102, 83, 62. Oops. I made an error there. 83, 62, 95, then 27, 44, 87, 100. Huh?
44, 87.
27, 44, 87, 100. What I'm doing is I'm putting in the data from here. I just wrote the data down so that I could show you the calculator entry on my screen. So I'm putting in each of the data from problem 2 into the calculator because I haven't shown that before. Okay. So I'm putting that in there. All right. So, all right. So let's see. Let me continue.
I can't see the calculator.
You should, can you see it now or no?
Mm-hmm.
Where was I? 87, 100, 254. 15, 92, 82, 53.
Wait, hold on. 240, 254?
Is there not a two? Did I
254.
miss? I might have, because I had to copy it after, yeah, right here, under the 100.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
15, 92, 82.
82, 53, 29, 75, 99, 114, 88, 14, 58, 105, 56, 77, 95, 64, 120, 93, 36, 39, 8, 64, 16, 67, 55, 67, 16, 10, 5, 72, 159, 23, 21, 46, 23, 5, 14, 33, 66, and 3. Okay, now you want to sort the data so you can find the highest and lowest values in it. Okay, so I'm going to finish entering my data. You can find the highest and lowest values and then tell me what the class width should be. We want to construct it with 6 classes, it said. So let me continue entering my data here while you work on that. 92, 82. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Okay. 53. Oh, wait.
I tried doing this on Casio, but I don't know how.
Okay, we'll see if we can. We'll see. I think there's a video that I had found on it. Let me see if I can. She doesn't have. Okay, 77, 95. 64. I just want to show this for the sake of the video because this is something that I haven't shown before. There is a video on it already. But it, like I said, if you have a Casio, then we're gonna have to see if we can find those instructions. I know somebody else a while ago had that problem too, so it's worth looking at. But let me just get the data in here. 16, 67. Oops, wait a minute. Where did I leave off? 8, 64, 16, 67. Okay, 55. 67, 16. 10, 5, 72, 10. 2. Oops. 10, 5, 72, 50. 6, 23, 5, 14, 33, 66, and 3. Okay, now, just so I'll have the result, what I'm gonna do, and then I'll look for the video and we'll see if we can figure it out. So, So here I have, let me see the number. It looks like it. What number am I missing? 72. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. 10 should be 254. Is it? Let's see. I'm missing a number. Yeah. 1592, 82, 53, 29. Oh, 82. This is 53. 53. 29, 75, 99, 114, 88, and 14. Okay. 58, 105, 56, 77, 95, 64, 120, 93, 36, 39, 8, 64, 16, 55. Okay, I'm missing 60. Okay, 67, 55. Okay, I'm missing a number here. 64, let's see, 8, 64, 16. Okay. 67, 8, 64, 16. 67 and 55, and then 67 and 16. So I'm gonna go insert 67 and 16. Okay, should be back now to where I was at. 67, 55, 67, 16. 10, 5, 72, 159, 23, 21, 46. Yeah, okay, now we're back. All right, so there they are. So now I'm gonna go to stat, and I'm gonna go to my sort option, sort A, and I'm going to go and find L1. So for me, that's gonna be second L1 here. I'm going to sort it, and I'm going to go back by going to the stat key. So this is my stat, my edit screen, and it's now sorted. So as I said, the lowest is 3. And if you go all the way up to the top, you can go all the way to the bottom. And the highest is 254. So we're going to need that in a minute, but I'm going to take a digression here. 3 and 254, and we're using 6 classes. So we're going to need our width. We're going to do that in a second. But what I'm going to do is going to stop sharing my screen for a minute and take a digression and see if I can find a video on this, because I think somebody else had this issue. So let me try and deal with that for a minute. Okay. Let's go here. And let's say, what kind of Casio do you have, Jason?
An FX 9750 G3.
Casio. FX 9 957.
No, 9750 G3.
9750 G3, right?
Mm-hmm.
My apologies. Create histogram. Let's see if it, as I recall, there's a channel where it 9750 G3. Okay. Okay. Let's see if this tells us anything. Skip the ad. Give me a second here. Okay, so let's take a look at this. See if this tells us what we're supposed to do. All right, so I'm going to click here. Go here. Hmm. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, we don't need that for right now, so we're gonna skip that part. You can watch this later. Now, she's actually guessing here, but you should be able to enter the values from here. Once you label these columns, you should be able to enter values, and you only need one column for this to get this data, okay? Does that look like yours?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So let me know if that's working for you, or you need, I'll pop this link into the chat if you want to pick it up later. Okay, there's that. And I'm not sure if she's going to, let me just continue to preview this because I want to see if she wants to do anything with this data. Okay, no, I need a different video than this. Let me also stop sharing for a second. And I'll go back to this screen. So once we have the data, and I'll see if I can find another video on the histogram features. I'm sure there are some, but just so we can get through some of this for the second one, we know that the minimum was 3. We know that the maximum was 254. So by work that we did in the lab, and we know that we want 6 classes, because that was given to us the problem. So by work that we did previously, we can now find the class width, right? So if we find the class width of this, we're gonna take, remember the class width is our maximum minus the minimum. And we're going to divide that by, we're gonna divide that by the number of classes that we want. So this is going to be number of classes. So then we're gonna say this is 254 minus 3, which is 251. We're gonna divide that by 6. So go ahead and take 254 minus 3, divide that by 6. Tell me what you get when you do that.
Four 4.16667.
Okay, so I'm gonna hold on. This is,
Do you round it to the nearest odd?
we round to the odd, so we get
43.
43 is our width. So we
Mhm.
have 41.6667, and that rounds, we're gonna round to 43. So now we're gonna group our data with a width of 43. So again, we're gonna start with our, we're gonna need everything, but we're gonna start with our class limits, okay? So we're gonna have 3 here. We're gonna add 43, that's gonna give us 46. We're gonna add 43 again. So 46 plus 43 is gonna give us 89. And then 89 plus 43 is going to give us 132, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Mhm.
And then we're going to add 43 again. We're going to get 175. And we're going to add, we need one more class. We're going to add 43 one more time. And that is going to give us 218. Is that right? Am I right or not? Let's see, 3, 4 is 11 and 2. Is that correct? Is that, did you get those numbers, Jason?
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now we're going to do our upper limit. So remember, these are the ones that don't overlap. So 45 88 is going to be our next. Oops. I have no idea. I hit something on my screen and my apologies. So this is 88. Then I have 131. Then I have 174. And then I have 217. And then I'm going to add 43 to that. So if I add 43 to 217, I get, let's see, 10, 5, 6, and 260. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So these are my class limits. I need class boundaries. So let me go ahead and put those in there. Because I'm gonna need them for my histogram. So, and my ogive also. So let me do my class boundaries here. So this is going to be 2.5, whoops, 2.5 to 2.5 to 45.5, right?
Mm-hmm. 45.5.
And then I'm gonna
I
make him,
I know how to do this part now.
that part, okay. And then we're gonna, once you finish that, we're gonna start to look for our, I would look for your frequencies at this, you could put your frequency in there, but that's where you're gonna come up with the data. And that's where I wanted to help you with the calculator display that I have already, because that's the most time consuming part of this,
Mm-hmm.
is setting up the frequencies here. So let me go back to my calculator screen. Okay, I've got it grouped. I'm going to use my, and the I'll have to find some more instructions. I'm gonna look for some more instructions and email you, Jason. I'll have to look for some Casio instructions. We have instructions for the TI, but I'll look for some Casio instructions. This is okay, so I'm going from,
Can I just go?
yeah,
All right.
you can.
Okay.
But you see if you have, all right.